Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the third episode of the series, and from now on, I have decided that instead of the whole 1 hour lectures, I think it would be more appropriate to give a 30 minutes kind of branches. Not only because it increases engagement, but also this kind of thing might be new to you. Yeah, so I guess you can from now on I will do like this 30 minutes each branch. Like today, actual video, if I was to make, I think it would go over 1 hour 30 minutes because uh, you know it's very deep and very engaging. Truly, like today I will be explaining your emotions and how like you might say that you are, let's say, yeah, feel pain, let's say you feel happiness, you feel sadness, etc., etc., so on. In some rooms or in some places you feel overwhelmed, some places you feel very angry. Why I will just explain today. It's just so interesting. So with that, let's come to this video and let's just look at it. Okay, so in the previous video we talked about how life has different components and we spend our days either while engaging inside the component or staying outside it or thinking about the component itself. Yeah, so in the previous video, I hope you have watched it. You I have in the ending I have concluded, or rather we saw that we live our life in kind of boxes, rooms, and then either we are into those rooms or thinking about or planning about what to do next. So I've just written down, or rather, to illustrate this diagram more visually in your mind so that it's more easier for you to understand. I've just created a, obviously in your mind there is no, like, it's not like this hallway and galleries and stuff. It's just kind of, you can say, metaphor that this is what happens inside you, like inside your mind. So basically, as I mentioned, that we live our life in components, and basically these are the components, right? So this is you, okay, and this is your, let's say, novels or movies. Like let's say you like to watch a particular movie or particular type of movie, particular types of books, novels and movies. And this is sports. Let's say cricket, football, badminton, whatever. And this is junk food, masturbation, work, short reels, etc., parents expectations, relationship. And further on as we go, then I've just written down some common dents, and even in common dents I've missed many of them. Like let's say friends, the dent of friends, like room, sorry, not dent. So basically these are just components of our life, right? We have movie, we watch movies occasionally, we play sports, we eat junk food, we do masturbation, we work. Let's say if you are a student, then you study or whatever. Study is considered as your work, so that's nothing separate. And then the shots you scroll through your phone, and relationship, like girlfriend, boyfriend, and expectations of your parents and society, respect, and all these are just rooms in which basically the components of your life through which you experience every day. Let's say you wake up, you eat junk food or maybe food in general, you play sports, you play or you are in a relationship, you talk with your friends, you watch reels or shorts, you do masturbation, you do work, you are subject to your parents expectations. Many, these are just the components of your life. I've just summarized a common of them. If it's now, this is also, I've shown dot dot dot, so basically it goes on till infinity. So the main summary from here, what we can find is that my life consists of these rooms and the corridor. Yeah, basically this. If you, let's say, I hope you have seen it, like in a school, like it would be more easier for you to visualize. In the school, let's say there's a corridor, and on either side there is a room, and in a particular side there is a classroom, and you just go through the room and enter that particular classroom, right? So yeah, that's the case with in what you do in general in your life as well. So basically your, this is your whole life summarized, you can say, within this diagram. Obviously it's much more deep and we'll come to that, but if we talk briefly in purely diagrammatic or schematic basis, then this is what you live by in your everyday. Okay, so that is what I have written here. My life consists of these rooms and the corridor. Okay. Some trigger ring the bells on my rooms, and then I have to go inside it. And then inside these rooms, I experience various kind of emotions, sadness, pleasure, etc., etc. Okay. This one also we explain in the last part of the video, but still I'm going to explain it again because it's very deep, and until and unless it gets embedded into your mind, it's of no use, right? So as you can see, I have written, sorry, I have drawn this, bells. As you can see, this red kind of scratches I have drawn. So basically, I have represented them like bells. Okay, so if you are in a house or in an apartment, like obviously, let's say somebody knocks on your door, or rather, rings the bell. So whatever, it's kind of that. So let's say some external stimuli, like let's say you were in this room, right? You were in this room, shorts or reels, okay, and then suddenly you saw a scene from a particular movie, and then this bell activated, and it gave you signals. And now what would you do? From this room you would come out and go to this room. Let me use a different color. Yeah, so basically, this is you. So let's say you were in this shorts and reels room. Okay, you were scrolling through shorts and you were watching any random videos, but you saw a movie scene and it triggered, it brought some signal to your mind that, oh, this scene is very interesting, and which movie it is. Then you research that what movie it is and what scene it is. Then either then you go to this room and you watch that particular movie, and or maybe you can multitask also, like being in these two rooms simultaneously, like maybe you are watching movie and then also you're scrolling. That can also happen. That's a different issue. But basically I'm telling that some triggers, external triggers, this rings the bell, and then I am hopeless, like I can't do anything. If the bell rings, I have to go, right? So there's no choice, right? As according to you right now, because see, what will you tell that, oh, external stimuli comes and I have to go? How can I, like, there are either two options. What if external stimuli was not there? So if external stimuli was not there, I would be deeply engrossed in my work. Okay, but now the external stimuli has came, so shorts and reels and movies and stuff I have to watch, right? So basically, well, the according to you, or according to me as well, like I'm using you and me togetherly, because if I tell you, then you won't be relating much. So I'm using me mode. Okay, so basically that. These triggers, these external, whatever might be, let's say someone goes by with a very tasty food, then also let's say you're like someone is eating a tasty food in front of you, then this junk food bell activates, and then you are like drawn to it and you enter the room. So that is what I have written here. Some triggers in the bells, and in these rooms I experience various kind of emotions. Yeah, so in these rooms you experience various, thousands of emotions, right? Like let's say you are working, then maybe, or let's say a more relatable example is, let's say you are talking with your girlfriend or boyfriend, whoever, it doesn't matter. You are in a relationship and you're talking with your partner basically. So let's say your partner appreciates you, and your partner tells you, yeah, you are great and all those stuff. So then you would feel happy. Okay, then you would feel happy that, yeah, my partner has appreciated me, so great. But let's say you saw your partner talking with another male friend. Let's say your gf or girlfriend is talking with another male friend. Then you would feel like kind of insecure, or maybe might not be, if you are, like I'm talking in general. Obviously people would be there, where they won't feel insecure, they're okay with it. It doesn't matter. I'm just talking in general. Okay, so some people would feel insecure, and let's say your partner is angry on you, and she cries and tells that you are not up to the mark. Then also you will also feel angry, and you will like to start arguing. Many things can happen. So basically in the same room, where you can experience happiness, you can experience excitement is also as there. Let's say you were coming into the relationship for the first time in your life, and then you're, oh, okay, okay, my girlfriend, yeah. So it might be like that. And also, and then again, if your breakups and all, then on that same room would give you pain. Okay. uh, junk food, will give you pleasure, that, yeah, if I eat this food, then some taste buds would be activated and I will feel immense pleasure. And same goes for masturbation as well. Sports is a bit different. If you play it actively, then sports is like very immersive, and you would like to truly enjoy it and not see, some people confuse between these two, masturbation and sports. Like one of my friends, he told that what is the difference between masturbation and sports, because yeah, in physically it's there's a lot of difference, but see, in masturbation also, as you mentioned, that lostness, immersion, very attractive. And masturbation also, it gives a sense of pleasure. And I track loss of time, and when I scroll through the phone, I lose the track of time. However, in sports also it does the same. So what's the difference? So the difference is, in while you are in this room, it's like you're in a kind of state of sleepiness. Like you would feel like very burdened and very heavy, that, and you would feel pressurized. However, in sports, let's you are playing vigorously and not paying much attention to your thoughts, then you would feel very light, right? We have a whole different episode fully dedicated to immersion, and how the things actually work in immersion. So we'll obviously discuss this matter more in detail there. But for now, I'm just telling a bit, you know so that it becomes clear in your mind that what's the difference. You lose the track of time in both things, but here you feel a bit heavy, pressurized. Here you feel very light, as if you are flying, right? You kind of feel like that. Okay. So yeah, I've written down the various expressions: sadness, pleasure, happiness. Sadness I've explained in relationship example. Pleasure also I gave the example of sports, masturbation, and junk food. Movies can also give you pleasure, obviously. Happiness, excited, I explained. Greed can, when can greed be there? Let's say junk food. You eat one, let's say, roll, and then again, let's say you are not satisfied, and then again you eat the second roll, and then also you're not satisfied. Basically, that is what I mean by greed. Okay, so the emotion of greed arises from the desire as well. Excuse me. Some rooms have great attraction and bring a sense of lostness even when I'm active. Some makes me angry. Yeah. Same thing in sports. This particular line, I was generally talking about sports, because see, you can get immersed in other things also. Some play chess. Chess is also a sport. Okay. Some get immersed in physics. I'm in talking in general. Like if you play sports, you will get more immersed because you would have to engage in it very actively and physically, right? So some have great abstraction and bring a sense of lostness when I'm in them. Okay, so that's kind of immersion. If you are playing sports, or maybe you are vigorously working, then also working, enjoying the work, not like feeling pressurized, then also you would feel uh, sense of lostness. Some makes me angry. Yeah, as I mentioned, this relationship. Again, the relationship is a common aspect. Common example. It can be parents' expectations also. Like maybe your parents are expecting too much from you, and that makes you angry. It can be any of it. I'm just talking about more common examples, so that more younger generations can relate to it. Okay, so, some makes me angry, etc. Examples: masturbation, sports, works, relationship, pains, he loves me, and stuff. Okay, okay, okay. I have just summarized whatever I told in this year. So basically, masturbation, as I mentioned, pleasure, and excited. This would grieve. And sports will like be like some rooms have great attraction. This one. Work can also be this, or work can also be depressed, sadness kind of thing. It can be both. Relationship, as I mentioned, I talked about a lot in relationship, like how you might get all the you can get everything: sadness, pleasure, happiness, excited, greed. Like greed in a relationship, I think, like you want your partner to spend more time than he or she previously did. So that's greed. Some rooms have great attraction and sense of lostness. I don't know whether this can be applied to relationship or not. I don't think it can be, because it's more like a burden and sleepiness. You are not actively engaging in it, right? Some makes me angry. Yeah, and pains. These are all just the examples. Okay, so I have just summarized in this how our how the rooms affect our emotions. Like whenever we go in a room, this kind of emotions happen, and all those. Okay, so this we discussed. So now, the exact functioning of rooms, right? So now our interest changes. Now we know that, okay, I am in a gallery, and my life consists of these galleries and the room. And whenever the bell rings, I go into the room, and whatever the room gives me the emotions, and I experience it. So now we are more interested in how does the room actually work. Like, first of all, where did these rooms come from? That's also very very deep question. And but before that, we should know that how do these rooms actually work, right? uh, how can it happen that I go inside a particular room, and I can experience pleasures, sadness, happiness, excitement all together at once. Or maybe not at once, or maybe some rooms, I enter this room for one time, for the first time, let's say I feel very excited. The second time, I feel like it's forced, burden. Why? So basically, we are trying to understand how are these emotions coming at all. Basically, the exact functioning of rooms, right? So now whatever I told you, I would I would like to say to you that forget it. Yeah, forget it, not in the sense that you just completely throw it out of my mind, that you just start the video from here, not like that. You just keep it in the back of the mind, and you listen to currently what I'm explaining. Okay. So consider, let's say a room. Let's say a room is there, and within the room there is this plane. Basically, you can say, basically the floor. Okay, you can say, uh, and let's say somebody hammers the floor. Okay, let's say floor. I think it's cement. It won't happen. So let's say a tin sheet is there. Okay, I don't have it right now. It's kind of, you see, this is the copy. Let's say someone hammers it, right? So it bends, right? It just bends. So I've drawn a 2D figure. Let's say this was the floor, and someone, let's say, hammers it strongly, and let's say there's a dent formed. Okay, so this is a dent, like basically irregularity is formed. So and a bit of spoiler, but this dent is the cause of all your misery and your suffering. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. Okay. So basically, just first understand what I'm trying to say. This is the floor. Okay. Uh, I'm drawing a smooth floor. Okay. Smooth floor, and whatever you hammer, or maybe you stamp on it, strong enough to create a dent. Okay. So what it happens, it creates a dent, or whatever you can draw. It can be like this also. Shape doesn't matter. It's just a bent or dent. It's been created. So that is, some irregularities formed. So nothing great in that. So I hope it's clear to you. Let me just clear this off. Yeah. So basically, after you hammer it, a dent is formed, and uh, now if I ask you, let's say, I hope you do have some common sense. Then obviously, if you are here, then common sense is, I am sure you have it, right? Okay, so let me just change thing. Yeah. So now let's say a agent is formed. Let's say a person. Let's say agent. Secret agent, not secret agent, but basically any agent, and his work is to fix the dent. Okay. Let's say whenever you hammer it, simultaneously agent is created along with this dent, uh, whose actual job is to fix this dent somehow, by any means, like to fix this dent, so that it goes back to normal, and we again get the smooth floor or plane. Okay. So what can you do? Number one, you hammer. Yeah, very obvious, example, like very obvious kind of thing. You hammer the dent from the back. So let's say the previous this copy. So let's say I hammer it, and it's like this. So what would I do? I would just hammer it from back, right? I would, it's a bend. So what I would do, hammer it from back. So once I hammer it from back, then again it would be fixed. So basically, here's the dent. Let me just draw it more clearly. Here's the dent, and you, let's say you apply very high force, and it goes like this, and basically straightens out. So basically, that is the most common sense, like most obvious thing you would do is to hammer back, because you need to fix it. So what's the best option? You hammer it back so that it returns to the original position. And now we are obviously not considering that energy losses and all. I hope you can understand that. Okay, so you can just hammer back. Okay, first option is hammer back, so that would be fixed. And what can be a second and cheaper option? Let's say the second and cheaper option would be you go to the market and you find some liquid or whatever, and you temporarily fill it with the same liquid, uh, so that superficially it looks like it's plain. So if I look from the top view, okay, let's say my eye is here. So now if I look, then it would look like some it would, the top view would like look like this. Okay, let me just draw it. Yeah. Yeah, so basically now if I go to the market and I find out such a liquid or maybe some kind of material so that I can fill this dent uh, without actually hammering it back, then what would happen actually is that this would look from the top view. So superficially we get a feeling that okay, the dent is fixed, so job's done, right? Now, I hope you do have some. Again, use your own intellect and tell me which is a better option. You go to a market, who knows what kind of quality, or quality is not assured, and also anything. It's like just which is the more obvious option, hammering back. And what's the cheap and not so good action is basically you fill it with some kind of liquid or water, whatever. So that's not useful, right? If you fill it with some water or liquid, it's actually not fixed, because superficially it might appear that yeah, it's okay, it's been done, and the coast is cleared, and again we are back to normal. Vague feeling that yeah, it's fine. But actually, if someone comes to inspect, they would obviously see that the dent is still there. You have just filled it with some cheap material. So again, so basically the agent has failed his job to fix the dent, because its job was not to fill the dent, its job was to fix the dent. And the more obvious option is to hammer back and fill it. However, the agent, he chose to fill it with some kind of water, and when someone came to inspect, and he was just caught, and he was just you know thrown, he was just what can I say, kicked out from his job, basically. So so let's say you were in this place of agent, what would you would have done? Obviously hammering back, because this is just very cheap option. You can't do anything with this. If you fill it with liquid, the liquid will go away, evaporate the next day. And even if you try to fill it with stronger liquid, if someone comes to inspect and he sees it from the 2D view, then obviously he would notice that the dent is still there, some cheap material has been put here to fix it, which is actually not working. Okay, so that's how agent does it. The agent tries to fill it with water. Now, what if I tell you, you are also doing the same task? Instead of hammering back, what you are trying to do is you are trying to fill it with some kind of water, right? So now, uh, I've just drawn a bigger dent here so that I can completely explain. So now, basically, is this? What is this dent actually in real life? Now, this was kind of a model I gave, like you bent a floor, and so what's the relation with this in our life, right? Uh, the relation is that whenever you go inside this room, let's say the room of sports, or let's say a more common example is the room of relationship, right? You go into this. Let me just write it some here. Okay, this is the room of relationship, and here is the floor. I hope you can visualize, right? I know my drawing is a bit off, but yeah. So here is the room door with the bell. This is the floor, and someone, we'll talk to that who hammers it. Someone has hammered, and a dent of relationship, or that room has been made. And now, and simultaneously, an agent of relationship will also be created, and whose job will be to fix the dent. And what you do, instead of hammering it back, you also, like the agent, you try to fill it with some cheap material, okay, and you try to think that it's fixed superficially. But actually, if you look closely, it's not fixed. So it's you who are doing the wrong thing. You are not doing the obvious thing. Just hammer it back. Why are you doing this? It's just so much easier. And like, if you fill with, let's say, some water, it's heavy water, and it's like, some pressure would also be exerted, and then also it would depend further. Why just when the dent is formed like this? Why just not hammer it back so that it just returns to its original position forever? It will be fixed forever. Believe me. But we human beings unaware, uh, we do this kind of things, and hence we mess up our life. How? I'm just coming to that. uh, okay, so very exciting. Okay, let me just move this, uh, one thing, let's move this a bit down. Now I'm going to uh, explain all your emotions, right, through this single diagram, and you will be honestly blown away, like crazy. Like, you would really not believe that this is really true. So it would be so much interesting. Okay, so I guess the 30 minutes is now over. I just feel like I should give it and download, should just upload it anyhow. But the thing is, the viewer retention would be less, and also you might not also feel engaged after this 30 minutes, because it's very deep, as we talked about. So I guess we can end this video here for today, and again next day we will again discuss. I will just tell you that how on earth do you actually fill it with something else. Let me just, yeah. So how do what could have been the obvious option is to hammer back, but instead what you do, you choose to fill it with water, and that brings you so much trauma, pain, whatever you call it. And you're basically, the cause of your suffering is this dent, and the agent whose job was to fix it, you know you are this agent, and you are not able to fix it. That's why your life is miserable. You are trying to fix it with some cheap methods like this instead of hammering it back. So the next video we will talk about how these dents actually create the emotion in us. Okay, so that's it for the today's video. For the next video, let me just give you a brief summary overview, so that what we will study is clear. Is that how exactly, let's say, when you fill this some water, let's say you fill this, let's say we take water, it's a very common example. So let's say we take water and we try to fill it with water, and uh, and then once you fill it with water, that would, okay, it would just be a spoiler, just leave it for now. I know you, some of you have been like very excited, and some of them might be angry that he was going to tell the such this thing, how our emotions come about. uh, to be honest, it's very very interesting thing. I don't know if I can record this in the evening half. If I can, then I would do it. Like, it's very interesting, and I am sure you would be very intrigued by it. But we'll end this video today. But the next video we will study how the emotions come about from this dent. Okay, so the agent is you, and the dent is the particular room. The room has dent. Okay, who has hammered the dent? We'll come to that. The room has a particular dent, and you, as an agent, will try to fix it. But uh, in trying to fix it the wrong way, you will acquire such kind of emotions, and we'll talk about it. We will maybe sad, happy, and all those things. And then finally, once you realize that nothing is happening, you try to look for a better solution, which is this one. And it's okay. Let's end this video there today. So